I just wanted to hop on briefly because I thought today was actually a good example of things that we need to keep in mind as entrepreneurs with day jobs who are trying to run a business, trying to run a home, trying to keep a 9 to 5 or nine, more than that, many more hours than that job. We need to pace ourselves. But I think there's that happy medium between realizing that we are not going to have the same pace that a full-time entrepreneur who's already established in their business. We cannot keep the same pace. We cannot measure ourselves against people who are already full-time or are not also trying to balance a full-time job. We can't keep that same pace. But at the same time, at the flip side of that, I think it also becomes easy to use that as an excuse not to do the things that really will move our business forward. So today, I'll give you an example of probably, where I was struggling with maybe not giving myself enough self-care. Honestly, one of the first things that came in my mind when my husband was trying to convince me to go to the doctor was, crap, my email's not working. It's not working on my phone. I've had to go through my webmail, and I had an appointment at Apple to get it looked at, and the biggest thing I was so bummed about was that I couldn't work on a Saturday afternoon, which, that kind of was a little bit of an indication okay, you need to slow down a little bit, you need to take care of yourself. But at the same time, I do think that, we need to do what we can as entrepreneurs with day jobs to really make sure that we are spending our time wisely. Because we're so busy, because we don't have the luxury to waste time. I'm not saying anyone has that luxury, but we truly do not have a lot of room for trial and error. So we don't have that luxury to spend time foolishly, to spend time on social media platforms that in a way that are not performing. We don't have the luxury not to plan and be as organized and prepared as we can possibly be. More than anyone, we are the ones that need to be outsourcing. We are the ones that need to be planning content, myself included. But also we are the ones that need to be evaluating what's not working in our businesses so that we no longer have to be doing this double duty, forever, unless that's something that we want. And if your business is something as a side that you want to, maybe just use to fulfill a passion. But if it's something that you're really trying to make a genuine career out of, then we don't have that luxury not to be organized, but we also need to make sure that we're checking in regularly to see where those, we're spending our effort that's not having a payoff. And I think that can be the most difficult thing because we can kind of get into this system, whether it's creating Facebook posts or blog posts, and kind of doing the same old thing because we've developed this process, this system that works. And we think it works just because it's something that we can wrap our heads around and we can kind of wash and rinse and repeat and do the same thing. But if it's not truly making an impact in building our email list or helping us reach more people with our services or whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish in our business, we more than anyone also need to be ruthlessly looking into how we're spending our time and being willing to make those cuts when necessary. We don't have we can't just keep on doing the same old thing if it's not working. If we want our business to grow, then sometimes we have to, as painful as it is, because sometimes that's a choice between, am I going to create content today, or am I going to maybe cut back and evaluate and work on taking my business in a new direction. So for example, over the past couple of weeks, I've really been focusing on getting a virtual assistant and actually weeding out some of the social platforms that have not been performing real well for me, so that I can put more effort into things like Periscope, which are getting me the interaction that I want, the relationships that I want to try to build meaningful connections. So on the surface, that looks like I'm not doing all those things that I maybe once was doing in my business because I've decided what I was doing in my business, it was close, but it wasn't quite on target with where I can have the most impact. So that can be difficult sometimes to cut back too, because it means that from the surface it looks like we're producing less. But we have to be super, super strategic thinkers, and also just realize how much we need to give ourselves a little bit more credit. I think it's phenomenal for anyone to hold a business or to hold a full-time job and be working a business on the side. That takes so much fortitude. That takes so much vision. It takes so much just to be able to do all that and get your laundry done. I mean, that is just it takes superpowers to do that. So I think we also all need to realize what an amazing job we're doing,